Hey yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Thanks for tuning in. On this episode, I'm driving my 1357F bottom tier in a 357 with two artillery on Sand River. Two artillery aside. You can see that I'm headed to the south side. I'm going to pause it here because normally what I do on this map with mediums is lights is go up into the northeast, fight up here, win, and either push down towards their cap, see what's going on. Usually don't push the cap, or swing back over here to our cap, or maybe even to the middle and start going after the guys down in the pit. There's another option. Obviously, there's many options, but one of the other good options is to go down to the south here and start spotting for your team, because you will invariably have campers sitting back in this area, TDs and such right there. The other thing I noticed is I had a huge crowd going to the north, and while it's rare, there are cases where I'll go check the other flank with the intention of, if there's a lot of people here, just getting on out. Can be problematic down the south. As you can see, this whole funnel right here is very open and hard to get away. But I'm going to go here because of the speed of this tank, and I'm going to go take a look. And something interesting happens on this game that you can accomplish with a scout or a fast medium. We'll talk about it as we go, but I'm going to go ahead and just pop up here and see that they've got, yep, the requisite campers up in the dunes. That's pretty standard in the meta right now. I take a look but don't get spotted because of my good camo. T-26 E5 down in the middle, so we see him, and because there's two artillery, then they can start making these guys' days miserable. Now I get spotted. I'm on the back side of this ridge right here to make the artillery shot a little more difficult. They can hit it there, but it is more difficult if you get on the back side of a ridge. And I'm going to wait a little bit longer than just going dark and then popping back up, because I don't want somebody zoomed in necessarily right where I was or right where I'm going to pop up. If you make them a little bit bored, they'll stop staring. Now some people, some players do not get bored of staring in one spot. It's pretty amazing. But others will kind of sit there and look at the T-29 backing up. So what I'm doing here now that they've proven their passives and they don't really want to come after me, or at least for the moment show no intention to, I'm just paralyzing them right there. I know I've got 3 or 4 of them over here, maybe more, which gives us a huge overmatch on the other side of the map. And as long as they're not in here pushing towards the cap or pushing me, there's another one at 8.8 there. There's 4 of them sitting over here. 5 counting the T-26E5, but at least he's sort of in the fight with the defender. And I'm basically just paralyzing an entire flank with one little scout. Unfortunately, we have 4 TDs sitting back on our cap doing absolutely nothing. That's not necessarily helpful. But one thing, spotting guys like this and paralyzing them, fixing them in place, I guess, is really kind of the what you would call it here, militarily anyway. It incentivizes your TDs or campers sometimes to move forward and start looking for shots. You can see that the artillery is slowly working on these slow tanks sitting up here, camping out in these hills, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Hate to say I am using artillery in this case, but I am. The Su-152 is moving up. We still have a JT 8.8, a Challenger sitting on cap, although the Challenger has moved forward to help down in the pit, and the Object 704 appears to be pushing at this point, so that's good. Down goes one of their artillery. That makes me feel good. There's some more guys getting spotted. And really at this point, that huge overmatch in the north and my ability to fix at least four tanks down here in the south and west, which has facilitated that overmatch and stopped them from making any kind of push towards our cap, has really put our team up in a good spot. The Su-152 pushing up onto these guys, and now the GF is going to jump on the 152. I see this, so I'm going to go low so I can minimize my exposure to the 8.8, jump over here, and then start helping out. Unfortunately, I bounced. Start helping out the Su-152. I'm trying to get away from that 8.8, who's going to then eat up the 152. And I'm on a reload. Now I know the T-29's there and the Centurion. We're winning so handily, I start to take a chance. So I just figure, you know what, whatever, we're going to get in here and start taking shots on these guys. There's the T-29. He takes a shot. I make a miss. I know his reload is quite long, so I'm going to come up and over on the 8.8. I fully expected him to be pointing right at me as I did this, but he was not. And I'm just going to sneak by, maybe. Yep. Cool thing about this reloader is, one, its shots happen real fast. It's got 8 shots, and its clip reload is relatively fast at about 15-16 seconds, so I don't really have that long to wait. This poor 8.8, and then down he goes to artillery, which hits me, of course. Why wouldn't it? And we'll move forward. I know the T-29 is here. There's only 2 tanks left. Probably going to take a hit from the T-29. We'll see what happens here. Nope. Guess what? He quit. Orb went AFK. Just keep shooting him right in the same spot. There's a fire. And, of course, the artillery takes my kill. There's no kill stealing in this game, unless you're artillery. So not the most amazing game. You know, I didn't burn the world down with this. 1,839, 906 spotting. It was pretty much a raffle stomp anyway. But there are multiple ways to go about this map, and that's just one of them with the scout or medium. Obviously, if those tanks had all pushed, I would have been in trouble, and I would have had to got out of there. I would have had to run away, let's put it that way. And I may have even taken a few hits doing so, but if you're fast, get up there first, take a look. If they're coming at you hard, then you turn around, you get out of there, and you go somewhere else. If you can fix passives in place, keep them lit, make them nervous, and sit in their spot, then you're facilitating the damage and the push on the other side of the map because you're keeping a bunch of tanks out of the fight. Now, I wouldn't call that the #1 way to go on this map or the #1 way to play a scout, but just based on this particular situation, when I saw how many guys were going up to the north, they didn't really, I'm going to say air quotes, need a scout. They could have used my gun. You know, you can't just say they didn't need you. Well, yeah, they could have used your gun, absolutely, but they certainly had enough to do what they needed to do up there. And I wanted to see, because that entire flank was so open, what exactly were the enemy intentions down there. Once I saw the north winning, I saw I had 4 or 5 tanks fixed in place down the south. I just kept going with that. The good news with the scout or medium is if that doesn't work, then you can always skedaddle and go somewhere else. All right, guys, hope you like what you saw. Hope you learned something. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will see ya.